Today we are going to start with the difficult questions of squares and square roots, cubes and cube roots, LCM and HCF from O-level paper 1 point of view. Initially I am going to explain you how to find out the square root and cube root of any number, and then we move on to difficult questions. In order to find out the square root of 196, we'll do prime factorization of 196. Okay, so in order to do prime factorization, you just have to write prime numbers here. Okay, this is called the division method or prime factorization. Starting with 2, 2 9 times is 18, 2 8 times is 16, 2 49 times, 7 7 times, and 7 1 times. This is the prime factorization of 196. Okay, to find out the square root of 196, we do write down the prime factorization in the square root sign, and then we make pairs of two numbers each. Okay, this is one pair, and you have to make pair of identical numbers. 2 can make a pair with 2 only, not with 7. Okay, now out of this pair, once you make the pair, one number from each pair comes out, so the square root here is 14. This is the answer for the square root of 196. In order to find out the cube root of any number, the method is the same. You do prime factorization. Now you cannot do it further with 2, so you have to do it with 3. 3 9 times, 3 3 times, and 3 1 times. In order to find out the cube root of 1728, you've got 6 2's. And you've got 3 3's. We'll make pairs of I should use the word group here. I'll make groups of 3 identical numbers. Okay, one number from each group now comes out, 2 into 2 into 3, which is 12. So the cube root of 1728 is 12. Now also you need some background on how to find out the LCM and HCF of a number when its prime factors are given. Okay, if the prime factors are not given and the numbers are given to you directly, then you have a method which you must have learned in your primary classes. Now, if in case the prime factors are given, this is one number and this is the second number. In order to find out the LCM, you pick up the higher power of every number. If you notice, 2 has a power of 3 here but a power of 2 here, so we will pick up 2 to the power 3. We will pick up the higher power. Okay, as far as 3 is concerned, the higher power of 3 is 4, here it's 2, so we'll write down 3 to the power 4. 5 here in the next second number you don't have any 5 here, but you have just 5 to the power 1 here, and as far as 7 is concerned, you have a power of 2 here, so you'll write 7 to the power 2. Now you're going to solve this and you'll get a real big number. In order to find out the HCF, what you do is you pick the smaller power of each number. If you notice, the smaller power of 2 is 2 here and 3 here, so we'll pick up smaller power of 2, which is 2 to the power 2. We will pick up the smaller power of 3, which is 2. 5 is not common in both of them. We pick up the common numbers in HCF. That is why we pick up the smaller power. 5 is not common and 7 is also not common. So we're just simply going to get 4 times 9. So the answer for HCF is 36. Here for LCM, it will be 8 into 81 into 5 into 35, and you multiply and you get the answer. Okay, now we move on to the difficult questions, slightly difficult questions. Now in this question they are saying write these numbers in order of size starting with the smallest number. Now we know that we know the square root of 7. We don't know the square root of 17. We need to use a calculator for this, but we know that it is approximately equals to the square root of 16, which is 4. So this number should be slightly greater than 4. Okay, this is a 4. This is also an exact number given to us. We don't know what is the cube root of 63, but we know that the cube root of 64 is 4. So this number, since it's 63 not 64, this should be slightly lesser than 4. Okay, if we start arranging them, so we need to take the number, this is greater than 4, 4, 4.5 and less than 4. So we're going to take this number first. So we're going to write in the first dash, we'll write cube root of 63. In the second dash, we know it's 4. Then we will write greater than 17, which is greater than 4, but we know it won't exceed 4.5. It is greater at maybe 4.1 or 2, not more than that. So we're going to write under root 17 here, and lastly we'll write 4.5 here. Then we move on to the next question. It says the prime factorization of 120 is already given to us, and they are saying express 1200 as the product of its prime factors. We know that 1200 is 120 multiplied by 10. So let's write down the prime factorization of 1200. We will take the prime factorization of 120 and then multiply it with the prime factorization of 10, which is 2 and 5. Putting it together, 2 to the power 4, 3 and 5 square. This is the prime factorization of 1200. Now they are saying in the next part of the question, this is the answer for the first part. Now in the next part of the question, they are saying find the smallest value of n such that 120n is a square number. Remember, we just discussed earlier that in order to find out the square root of a number, we look at the prime factorization, and then every number should have a pair number. If you observe the prime factors of 120, which is 2 to the power cube into 3 into 5. If you notice, there are 3 2's. So we need one more 2 so that you have 2 2's which will come out of the square root sign. Then you need one more 3 and one more 5. Okay, so you need what? You need one more 2, one more 3 and one more 5, so that when you multiply this whole number with the prime factorization of 120, this whole number will become a square number. Okay, so let's multiply these 3 together and we will get 30. We can even check 120 times n. Okay, we are taking n to be 30. We will multiply 120 by 30. Is it giving us a square number, which is 3600? Yes, 3600 is a perfect square number. So you just have to look at the prime factorization of the given number, and you have to see that with which number will you multiply this prime factorization so that every number has a pair number. We needed one more 2's. 1, 3 and 1, 5, so that 3 will also have a pair, 5 will also have a pair, and there will be 2 pairs of 2's. Okay, so the answer here would be 30. This is the answer for the second part of the question. Okay, let's move on to the next part. They've given us the prime factorization of P and Q. They're saying find the highest common factor of P and Q. Now, since the prime factorization is available, we have to find out the HCF. In that, we pick up the common numbers or the smaller power of every number. Okay, we will pick up 2, as the smaller power of 2 is 1 here. Then we will take 3 also, and then we will take 5. Okay, so 2 into 3 into 5, which is 30. So the highest common factor of these numbers is 30. Answer for the first part. Find the lowest common multiple of P, Q and 21. We have the prime factorization of P with us, which is 2 cube into 3 into 5 square. We have the prime factorization of Q, which is 2 into 3 square into 5, and we can also find out the prime factorization of 21, which will give us 3 times 7. Now we are supposed to find out the LCM. Okay, let's pick up the greatest power of 2. The greatest power of 2 is 3 here, 1 here, no 2, meaning 0 here. So we'll take the greatest power since we have to find out the LCM. So we will take 2 to the power 3. We will take 3 to the power 2. Okay, and then we will take 5 to the power 2 and we'll take 7. Okay. We took 3 to the power, we are supposed to take 3 to the power 2. Since we have maximum power of 3 is 2 here, and maximum power of 5 is 2, and 7 is not here, but it's here, and the maximum power is 1. So you're going to simply multiply these numbers, 8 into 9 into 25 into 7, 72 times 175. Calculate and you'll get the answer. Next part, find the smallest integer n such that Pn is a square number. Okay, they're talking about P multiplied by n. Okay, P is given to us. Let's copy P. P is 2 to the power cube into 3 into 5 square. Okay, in order to make this number a perfect square number, if you look at the prime factorization, you've got 3 2's. So you need one more 2 so that there will be 2 pairs of 2's. You need one more 3 because there's just one 3 here, and 5 doesn't need a pair. There are 2 5's here, so they'll make 1. 1 5 will come out of the square root sign. Okay, so you need 1 2 and 1 3, which is 6. Since they're talking about the smallest integer, that is why we're just taking 6. We are taking the smallest number which is needed, so that you multiply that number by p with p, so that that number becomes a perfect square number. Okay, moving on to the next question. It says a number written as the product of its prime factors is 2 square into 5 square into 7. Evaluate this number. Evaluating meaning you just have to multiply and see what is this number. 2 to the power 2 is 4, 5 to the power 2 is 25 into 7. 25 times 4 is 100, 100 into 7 is 700. This is the answer for the first part. Okay, the lowest common multiple of 2 square, 5 square and 7 and another number n is this. Okay, this is the LCM. Find the lowest possible value of n. Now the number n is missing, but we know that the prime factorization, these two numbers, this number and n, the LCM is this. Okay, look at the LCM. You've got 2 to the power 2 here. That means the number n may or may not have 2 in it. Even if it doesn't have 2 in it, since you've got 2 2's here, LCM has these 2 2's. We need to find out the lowest possible value. Okay, so we need to take whatever is necessary for us to make n. Okay, so we will not take 2. Now look at 3. You don't have any 3 here. That means n must be having 1 3, so that this 3 was taken from the prime factorization of n. So you will have to take 1 3. As far as 5 is concerned, you already have 2 5's here, so we don't need to take 5's for in n. But 7, if you look here, there are 2 7's here, there's just 1 7 here. That means n must be having 2 7's in it. Okay, so 2 7's. When you multiply, you get 3 times 49, which is 153 times is 150. If you subtract 3, 147. Yeah, 147, which is the answer for this part of the question. Okay, the next question, it says express 60 as the product of its prime factorization. You can do it this way, or you can, it's 4 times 15. So 2 2 and 3 into 5. This is the prime factorization of 60. This is the answer for the first part of the question. You need to write down the answer in the blanks provided. I am not writing, but you have to write it down. Then it says find the smallest possible integer m such that 60 multiplied by m becomes a square number. Have a look once again. 2 has a pair, 3 doesn't have a pair, 5 doesn't have a pair. So you need to have 3 into 5 here. This becomes the answer for the second part of the question. Then it says the lowest number that is a multiple of both 60 and the integer n is 180. Find the smallest possible value of n. We know the prime factorization of 60. I'm writing here, prime factorization of 60 is 2 square into 3 into 5, and the LCM itself, they are saying is, this is the LCM. LCM, the prime factorization of 180 is, first of all, 18 is 2 times 3 square, and then this is the prime factorization for 18, and for 10 you take another 2 and 5. So the overall prime factorization for 180 is 2 square into 3 square into 5. This is the prime factorization. Now you need to find out the smallest possible value of n. Now if this is the prime factor, if this is the LCM, they have taken 2 2's, they must have taken it from here. So we don't need any 2's here because 2 2's are already available here. They've taken 3 2's. There's just 1 3 here. That means there must be 2 3's here, which they have taken from the prime factorization of n. As far as 5 is concerned, 5 is already available. 5 is already available in the prime factorization of 60 here. So you don't need to take it. So the answer here would be for n should be 9. Okay. The answer for n is 9. Then we move on to this question. It's n equals to 2 times 10 to the power of 8. Find the smallest positive integer m, given that m multiplied by n is a cube number. Now here we'll use the concept of cube numbers in order to find if you, in order to make this a cube number, every number should have a pair number. If you notice, 2 is just 1, okay, so you need 2 more 2's here, you need 2 more 2's. Now as far as 10 is concerned, you've got 8 10's. So in order to make pairs, if you notice, now see, if I write 8 10's, okay, these are 8 10's, these 3 10's will make one group, these will make another group. You need one more pair so that the third group is also complete. So you need one more 10 here. So 4 times 10, which is 40. That means you need to multiply this number n by 40 so that it becomes a cube number. So the answer for n would be 40. Thanks a lot for watching this video.